crushing my brain with the candlelight. Losing my breath, losing myself, dreams are out of sight. Stop struggling against my demons. Stop taking life as fiction. Burn, burn, burn. Burn the pain, burn the lies, burn the fear inside myself. And burn it all again. It's the right time to escape this cage I've been locked in for so long. It's not where I belong. Let it burn, burn, burn into the ground.
Well, hello again, everyone. We are the Heightster Pod, your weekly unfiltered wrestling and entertainment. Welcome to the World Elite Podcast, where we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and we're on YouTube as well. Of course, I'm Marcus. You know where to find me at Marcus Elite 337 on Twitter. I got one of my two co-hosts here today. Jordan will not be here this week, but hopefully he'll be back next week. But we got the man that can kill you 200-something to 0 in freshman mode in EA Sports College Football 25. It's Dylan. How's it going? With a new camera, by the way. I'm loving the new camera.
Yeah, I decided to get something different. I watched our last couple streams and I noticed that my picture wasn't up to par with my old webcam. So I had to go on Amazon, find something new, and yeah, got something pretty clear looking. So I actually like how it actually came out. I just installed it like maybe 15 minutes ago. So I went in with a lot of hope for this thing. So, but I am doing good though. How you doing, Marcus?
I'm doing great. I thought I was going to have a freaking catastrophe just now with my fucking PC. But I need to see what's wrong with StreamYard before the weekend comes, because in next week too. But filling in for Jordan today, of course, you could find him part of the Game Breaker Sports Network. He has no soul, but he's with us in spirit. It's the Lord Ginger himself. It's Bakley. What's up?
Apparently, from what I learned, I shouldn't be playing Dylan and Madden, so.
Well,
or NCAA.
Well, I hope you like your little early Christmas present we gave you. We gave y'all an easy bowl game. I hope y'all beat the fuck out of Tulane. Fuck
you know. Our winning streak started after we beat LSU, so.
Yeah. And I hated football after that day. I don't know how long until that'll ever happen again, but Jordan tuning in the comments. What's going on, Jordan? So, speaking of college football, what a way to just kind of bring that up. I know this is the second year it happened, but the WWE is doing a type of partnership with the Big 12 Conference where they actually designed their Big 12 championship trophy, and as a bonus for their player of the game, they customized them their own custom Big 12 championship title belt that they give to the player of the game. Now, last year, you remember, if you watched it, Texas's last year in the Big 12 championship, they won, and they had, of course, for Texas Longhorns, they had The Undertaker present that title to, I think Quinn Ewers got player of the game last year in that title game, plus Bianca Belair was accompanied with him. But this year, if you want to get a little Uzi, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn presented the trophy and the player of the game to Arizona State and their quarterback, who was, by the way, predicted to go last in this conference, and they won it all, beating Iowa State. But I know that we don't talk a lot of football in here, but this is kind of a partnership. I like it. Did you guys remember this, or y'all forgot about it? If y'all were watching this game, what were y'all reaction seeing Jay and Sammy on TV? Plus, remember, Joe Tessitore, who works for Monday Night Raw, commentates games on ABC, and he did bring it up, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm employed with WWE. We've been doing this partnership." What's your take with this, the WWE's partnership, and then seeing Jay and Sammy on TV? Go ahead, Dylan.
I think it's pretty cool. You know, I wish they would do it with other conferences. I know they did the Big 12 last year, did it this year. It'd be cool if they did something more like the SEC. You know, that's, of course, our conference down here. You know, of course, LSU hasn't made it in quite some time. But it'd be cool to see the other schools to.
They made it last year, but they didn't win. We lost.
Well, yeah, right. But yeah, like can actually as a good team to make it. But it'd be cool to see them, kind of expand to other conferences and whatnot. But the Big 12 was a cool thing to do. I know they did it last year, did it this year. So seems like that's going to be a thing for years to come. And yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool, to see just how they expand over the years.
Correction, not last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I don't think we made it last year.
Brian Kelly's first year at LSU, he
Right.
brought
Yeah.
him, but they lost to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't won it in 5 years.
Right.
2019 was the last time we won it.
Yeah.
What you think, Bakley? I know being up in Jersey, you are an SEC guy yourself. You like Billy Napier. What was the nickname we gave him? Laborer, Billy Laborer, or some shit like that. Like we get Home Depot Labor or something.
Hey, he did good the last month of the season, and the team definitely changed things up for the better. But like this area is more about like the Big Ten. You got like I'm in between and Penn State, so you got a little bit of that. But I love the partnership. It can only be good because you get like different eyes on each product. You got football, which is a big juggernaut of a cash revenue, and then you got the WWE, which is another big cash revenue, and it brings more eyes to each product. And you brought it up. Undertaker fit the mold when they had Texas because he's a big Texas fan. I know he was there, and I remember him just talking it up with Matthew McConaughey, who is a big Texas fan, and now
he's a professor.
Yep. And now this one was interesting because it got Jay Uso, who used to play football growing up, but then you got Sammy, who, being Canadian, he's more about hockey. So he came there, and for me, it was more like the comedic relief, seeing all the clips of him on social media, and it was kind of cool because you see him, and you see the team that won it, Arizona State. They were like a Pac-12 team that came over the first year in there, one of the youngest coaches in college football, and a big-time bruiser back, which you usually don't like picture with the Big 12. You pick Scotabo to be more of like a wrestler than a football player, I feel like, with how he's built. So I felt like it was kind of ironic that he made the Big 12, but it's a good thing, more eyes, the better. The Big 12 took advantage of having the opportunity to work with a big company like WWE, where the others, they're huge. They're going to go for other things there. But Big 12 was willing to take the risk or the reward of working with the WWE.
Now, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, no disrespect to the Big 12, but I felt they were more irrelevant when they had Texas and Oklahoma. But now that they came to play with the big boys, they came to the SEC. It's like Big 12. I'm not going to criticize them. They still got elite teams and whatnot. They still got all them.
Those teams going to build themselves up by being in the Big 12 now, like the Pac-12 ones, and you got the others that are going to be coming in, leaving. Like it's always a open, shut door where teams always are moving. So the more you move up, the more you get better. The fact that like Arizona State did good, BYU did good this year. Like even if you talk about a team that used to be there that went to the ACC, SMU, they kind of made a step up to the ACC, and they did good. They didn't win, but they finished second, and they're in the college playoff. So it's like just like Arizona State. So you always want to set yourself up, even if you take that risk of playing teams that are better than you on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's kind of funny how they you'd think a big company like them would be sponsored in the SEC, but they not. Which there's no hard feelings for the Big 12. It is what it is. But I swore AEW did something like this with another conference. But yes, they do. They sponsor the Southland Conference, which is a small FCS conference down here where they got 4 teams in the state down here, like McNeese, Southeastern Nickels, all them. That AEW sponsors them. They even made a championship. They kind of pulled page out of WWE's book, made a custom title with the conference logos on the side. But I don't know why. I thought they sponsored the ACC because, Jackson, I mean, there's no ACC team in Jacksonville, but I mean, they're kind of like around that ACC border. They got two Florida teams in the ACC. They right not far from South Carolina with Clemson and not far from Georgia where they got Georgia Tech and everything. I don't know why. I thought they sponsored the ACC in that way, but no, it was the Southland Conference. They actually awarded a title belt to the conference champion in football and in basketball because McNeese hosted the conference championship. I went to the championship game and I was sidetracked when I saw Shoemate hold up a AEW championship. I'm like, where the fuck he got that from? And I'm like, where's Tony Khan? I'm like, where's Tony Khan? I don't see Tony Khan. He's not in Lake Charles, thank God, because he'd be up in Gosport doing cocaine up in North Lake Charles area.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I like it. I mean, I see this kind of going on. Watch, pretty soon the WWE's going to sponsor a bowl game. Maybe not the Pop-Tarts Bowl, I can tell you that. Which you can't hate that. They have the greatest ending ever. The Pop-Tart mascot goes in a giant toaster, and out comes a massive Pop-Tart for the team that won to eat. That is awesome. And I'm a Pop-Tart guy.
They've got some weird ones. Like, isn't there one where like they dump like a thing of like marshmallow like on the coach or something like that, or something weird like that?
Look, I'm gonna give you some of the strangest weird traditions they do after, instead of usually your usual gator bath or whatnot. This one's kind of funny. A couple years ago, LSU played in the Cheez-It Bowl. If you win the game, you get poured a Gatorade container full of Cheez-Its. You get a Cheez-It bath.
Oh, geez.
A Gatorade cooler full of Cheez-Its. You win the Orange Bowl, you get an orange bath, like orange juice bath. You win the Duke's Mayo Bowl, you get a mayo bath.
That's what it is. It was the mayonnaise. That's what it was.
Oh my God. I fucking hate mayonnaise.
I love mayonnaise, but I gotta have just a little bit. Like, I get mad at McDonald's when I tell them I always get my burgers the same. I just want ketchup and mayonnaise on it. That's it.
I'm not a fan of mayonnaise, but I do use it on chicken patties, and then I use it to make grilled cheese.
Do y'all have hot and spices up in New Jersey? It's like it's a spicy McChicken. We just call it a hot and spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll get mad if they put way too much mayonnaise where it's coming off the side, and I'll get pissed. I'm like, dude, I said I just wanted mayonnaise, not a fucking McCum shot. Jesus Christ. But yeah, a mayo bath. That's why I hope Brian Kelly has better seasons where they don't go to Charlotte to play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Besides, I'd rather Hellman's mayonnaise over Duke Mayo.
You might be doing it next year since you don't have Underwood anymore.
Well, we're going to the Texas Bowl to play our former OC on Dylan's birthday, New Year's Eve.
And I saw that your quarterback's coming back.
Yeah, don't remind me. Garrett's coming back. Yep. Players I wanted that's going to the transfer portal is finally going in the transfer portal. But Kayla, I hope we can still be friends after week 1 next year because we open up with Clemson in Clemson.
we're probably going to lose that too. We open up against big teams every year and somehow get embarrassed every single time.
And LSU hasn't won an opening game since they became national champions. So
yeah,
we've lost 5 in a row, but I think 3 in a row under Brian Kelly or 4.
Yep.
I got to look at our non-conference schedule because it was kind of weird. Like 6 years ago, they scheduled a home and home with Texas, and it started this year. But it just so happened that this year was the first year that Texas joined the SEC. So it kind of made things weird because that was supposed to be one of our non-conference games. Yeah, and now they're a conference team, so they had to totally redo the schedule.
the stupidest thing about our schedule this year is that once again we're closing out the season with Oklahoma. We are not rivals with them. Why can't we close out with Arkansas? Because Missouri hates playing them for the battle line, even though they beat them every year. Or let us fucking end with Tulane. Tulane's been talking shit since they once had a better season, but when they stole our idea, the state of football, and put their logo on that, they've lost every game since they did that. They lost to Memphis, and they got their ass whooped in the championship game against Army. Yeah. And hopefully Florida beats them again, and they'll regret stealing our motto. Yes, we will. If we haven't stopped. Yeah, but that's back and forth. They're usually the two worst teams in the NFC South, if it's not Atlanta. But we split it this year, so we're good. We won the first meeting, and they won the last meeting. Mm-hmm. Which our season's already done. You saw the Saints signed a new quarterback.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I said, Alexa, play Limp Bizkit.
Who did you sign?
We signed Danuki.
I don't think that's how you pronounce his name.
It's Danuki. Is it Ben Danuki?
I don't think
that's how you Ben Danucci.
Yes, there you go.
I'm like, who are you talking about?
I kept saying Danuki. Well,
Danuki.
It could be worse. We could be trying to pronounce that white boy's last name that just signed with Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, that's. I'm not going to go there.
I wish he could have played for a Power 5 school just so I can hear somebody try to pronounce that last name.
Hey, Kayla. Hey, you guys are favorite in that game, actually.
I know. I hope y'all beat the Cowgirls so I can hear another Bubba Dub episode where he talks shit on the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, they've been playing very good. They could have beat us. They could have beat the Bucks. They could have beat the Chiefs. Even though they've lost the 3 games, they've been in each game until the very last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I quit doing Sportsmania Plus because we got a better show coming at the beginning of the new year. Mm-hmm. So, but I did pick Carolina to beat the Cowboys if I'd have did a show. Did my predictions? I did pick the Panthers. So going back to the wrestling talk now. Let me pop it up because I even forgot to pop it up. There was a TNA show this past weekend. They had Final Resolution coming up. It's actually tomorrow night.
Yes, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, I will watch it.
Center Stage in Atlanta.
Yeah, an iconic venue that used to host the WCW Saturday night tapings.
Mm-hmm.
They actually just announced that it sold out too.
Hell yeah! And shout out to our buddy Bryce Boudreaux. He actually ring announced in that venue for MMA fights and some indie wrestling shows in Atlanta.
Oh, that's cool.
And hey, he's been on a roll lately. He's now the hype man for our minor league baseball team in Lake Charles, the Gumbo Gators. He does that. He also is the ring announcer for the MMA company down in Lafayette area. Every time the world champion from one of the world champions from my hometown, he always, because they call him the Don, and I'm like, when I hear the Don, I think of Tony D'Angelo because that's what they call him too. They call him the Don.
I was gonna say I didn't know there was one there, but I know there's a well-known one in Biloxi.
Gulf Coast. He does that one too.
Yeah,
he ring announced for them too. So yeah, they added quite more matches for this card. So they got 2 pre-show matches. We're gonna quickly produce. Now I'm not watching it tonight because we're doing this, but I did record it. I'm gonna go back and watch it back later on now. And I know Dylan don't really keep up with it, but I mean, I thought at least just this is a good show we predicted. But when there's a pay-per-view, which they do like 4 a year, we'll still predict the pay-per-views. But I thought this was a good card for a TNA Plus event. I thought we should predict it. So let's get it done. We'll start with Bakley, then go Dylan. I'll go last. There's 2 pre-show matches. First, they got Leon Slater taking on JDC, aka Fandango.
I know what they've been doing. Like, I've been kind of following. I haven't watched the last 2 weeks just because I've been busy, but it's kind of easy to follow with it. Leon Slater is like the high flyer right now. He's like going to be the future of the X division. Very flashy, very fan friendly. Then you got JDC, who is part of the system. Finally got in right before Bound for Glory. He's kind of been taking losses. I think Leon Slater wins this one.
So I'm not crazy familiar with who Leon Slater is, and I guess just because of that, I'm gonna go with JDC because I know who he is. So yeah, that's pretty much my only reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I'm going with Leon Slater. I think he's going to be like the next like breakout star in TNA or the next top star. And then also on the pre-show, we got Frankie Kazarian taking on Jonathan Gresham.
See, this is interesting because more than likely you got Gresham, who I believe his contract is up next month with his wife, Jordan Grace. And there's been talks that he's going to go to NXT with her. Because wherever she goes, he goes, whatnot. But they've been giving a pretty good push the last month. And Frankie Kazarian still has that call your shot contract where he can just call a shot and get the word title shot whenever he wants that he would at Bound for Glory. I think with all that, I think Frankie's going to win this one. I would think that Gresham would, but there's too much uncertainty with his status with the company, whether he's going to stay or leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Frankie as well.
I got Frankie too, but I think it's going to be probably after Genesis. I can see Gresham going to NXT. It'll be after Genesis. Like, do the pay-per-view first.
Okay, yeah.
All right, main card. I saw they just added a couple more matches here. So we got Ace Austin taking on Trent Seven.
You want me to start it out?
Yeah, we'll keep it that way.
Okay. I've been liking what they're doing with Ace because they're trying to give him a good like singles run with, of course, Chris Bay with the whole injury, with everything. I've been a big fan of the company with how they've been handling it, like doing all these proceeds and everything. All these companies are just showing so much love for him. And right now he's dedicating this whole run that he's doing to Chris Bay. He had Trent, who turned heel on Speedball Mike Bailey right after Bound for Glory, saying that he kind of held him back. And he's been working with Hammerstone and Jake something lately as well. So it makes this kind of tough. I think Ace Austin wins this one. I think the good guy does this. Trent's always a good worker. He does well. I see more of a future with Ace moving forward than I do with Trent.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ace as well. This is gonna be good. I like Trent Seven as well. I think he's a great performer. But I also like Ace Austin a lot. So I think he pulls it off.
You muted.
Fuck. I said I'm going with Ace Austin. Trent Seven's kind of that guy that can push talent, and he's going to push him up a little higher. So, all right, now we got Jordan Grace taking on Rosemary.
I got Rosemary in this one. I think Jordan Grace is on the way out. There's really nothing that she can do that she hasn't done in this company. They've been doing the storyline with Rosemary where everybody has left her or has turned on her, in essence. Her partnership with Wendy Chu is like, she felt like she turned on her. Havoc, you got the Bunny, all of them have came and left, and she's by herself. And she's been doing this weird thing where somebody is talking to her, or she's hearing voices, kind of like Randy Orton-esque, telling her to do things. She's been acting kind of psychotic. And they've been kind of teasing that she's one of the next big feuds for the Knockouts Championship. So I think somehow she gets the upset over Grace.
Across the board, I'm going with Rosemary too. Yes. Do you think Jordan Grace will have a back-to-back Royal Rumble appearance as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
This time she won't be the Knockouts champion though. She's just going solo.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if anybody in the comments wants to make their predictions as well, feel free. We'll post them up as well. Like, Shout out to Snug Wrestling Podcast. He thinks that Jordan Grace is going to take Rosemary down. So, yeah, feel free to comment your predictions as well. Then we got Moose versus Kushida for the X Division Championship. Yes, Moose is X Division champion. It doesn't mean you have to be a cruiserweight to win that title. Remember, Samoa Joe held that championship. Kurt Angle held it. Abyss even held it. It's just a title, like a mid-card title.
It's just the the stipulation type thing. Like they say that anybody can be X Division champion, even the knockouts. They're eligible for it.
Kind of like when Disco won the cruiserweight title and he wasn't cruiserweight.
Yeah, kind of like that. But this one, I love the fact that Moose has kind of made it like he's been like a main event guy, but lately he said, I'm going to make my mission to grow the X Division Championship again. I'm going to make that more popular than the world title because, of course, it's Moose, and Moose is the main event guy, the leader, essentially, of the system. And right now, Kushida wants that shot, and he's in his way. Kushida has been a great worker. He's been like that tweener guy. Like sometimes that they've given him shots to win it or to be in it. They give him several things because he's always stepping up with performances. But I think Moose is going to continue the trend of making that title important because that's the most well-known TNA title is the X Division. So I got him retaining.
So with Moose, I'm always so used to seeing him in the main event picture all the time. So it's a lot different seeing him more of that mid-card level going with the X Division title. But for someone like me who hasn't really watched much TNA, weekly stuff, I do see it on social media a lot. I do see that he's carrying the title well, and I think he continues to carry the title well after Final Resolution. So I'm going with Moose.
Yeah, I got Moose retaining as well.
And you got a Moose on your shirt too. I'm just saying that.
Well, it is the holiday season. I said every live stream in the month of December I was going to wear a Christmas shirt. Last week, I just wore a shirt that said Team Naughty. This week I'm wearing the Wally World Christmas edition T-shirt.
There you go.
Next week I'm debating, should I wear the Griswold station wagon shirt with the Christmas tree, or do I wear the Christmas vacation silky pajamas I bought when we have our family Christmas next weekend?
Oof.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's a tough one.
They're fucking funny. I love them. You got Clark's face around them. You got the icon.
I do that one because I would say do that one closer to Christmas, but this would be the last Thursday before Christmas.
The 19th. The 19th would be our last.
Yeah.
So I would do that next week. The silky ones.
Because the 26th would be the year-end awards, and Christmas would definitely technically be over to me because I'll be counting down for New Year's. So, yeah, I mean, they're awesome. They're like silk red. You got just pictures of Clark's face around it or the iconic shot from the box where he's lit up with the lights. You got quotes from like, "Why is the carpet wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot," or the happiest Christmas, jelly of the month, the station wagon with the tree. The only thing that disappointed me, it don't have "shitters full" or "save the Nick for me, Clark" as one of the quotes on the pajamas.
So you talk about how Die Hard's a movie. Is there a Die Hard Christmas T-shirt that you own, Marcus?
I didn't get one off 80s Tees yet, but Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has been parodying Christmas movie posters, and they did do Die Hard.
Because Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Just saying.
It's just because probably there's, I don't know why. it was based on Christmas Eve. You heard Christmas music in the background and all that other shit. I mean,
and Die Hard 2 takes place on Christmas.
Well, if I'm going to throw something in there, if you watch Terrifier 3 with Art the Clown, it's around Christmas time. He's dressed as Santa Claus. Does that make it a Christmas movie all of a sudden?
Yeah. Batman Returns was a Christmas movie too. The entire storyline was in the month of December with snow and Santa Claus and trees and presents.
I wouldn't go that far, but I would just say the fact that 80% of the Die Hard movies are taking place during Christmas.
Mhm.
I'm
You know,
just
it
gonna
makes
say-
me. You know, it makes me more mad when people say "Grumpy Old Men" is not a Christmas movie.
they're just
I
grumpy
co-
old men.
I just tell them like in the beginning, later, schmuck. Now, I don't consider Sonic the Hedgehog 3 being a Christmas movie because there will be a scene where Gerald Robotnik is Santa Claus when he
Mhm.
snuck in his grandson's house. I saw that trailer, but I can't wait for that movie too. All right, now we got the Hardys because I guess you can't say the Hardy Boys anymore. You got Matt and Jeff Hardy taking on the Systems, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards for the TNA World Tag Team Championships, and it's a tables match.
Yeah.
See, it's one of the weaknesses of the TNA is the tag division because they don't really have any. I think they were investing. They were going to invest a lot in putting the titles back on ABC, but then Chris Bay, of course, got seriously hurt, so that took a tag team away. And there's really only the Hardys, the System. You got not the you got the Armory, the team that's with Josh Alexander, who it looks like he's going to be leaving too. So there's really not that many tag teams. So I could see the System winning them back here because I feel like if they're going to do like a tables match, I feel like they're setting something up because if the Hardys win, then the Hardys are going to have to move on, and it's like who are they going to face afterwards? You're going to have to put a team together, or you can have the System win and have them go again for a third time and try and do Genesis with a trilogy match and then somehow because they've all last match was that kind of crazy Monsters Ball match with the titles up high, and then you got a tables match here. So I'm gonna go with the System. I want the Hardys to retain, but I think somehow the System are gonna win.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going storytelling wise, there's no really reason for the Hardys to win. You know, I kind of agree where you're going with this. You know, you got to find something new, a new storyline to come from this, and kind of feel like the Hardys are almost nearing their end. You know, they've been going for far too long. You know, they're still going to this day. I was a little surprised they put the titles on them, but like I said, there's just nothing after if they win at Final Resolution. You know, so I think you go with the System to get them back.
That's kind of weird because they've been working this whole time without a
Yeah.
contract. They've been
Yeah.
just doing like handshake there, and then they just signed a contract like a couple weeks ago. So it's like, I like, but it could be like with how the contracts are, it could only be like 6 months just to
Right.
carry it over until they get like more tag teams established.
Right.
Yeah, I got the Hardys retaining, and it goes to a trilogy.
Hmm.
I don't know what they can do to top that. That's why I was thinking they might do like Full Metal Mayhem or something for a third match. So I got the Hardys retaining. Then we get the Knockouts Championship. Masha Slamovich taking on Tasha Steelz.
The big thing was Masha winning the title Bound for Glory from Jordan. Then they had to rematch the 2 out of 3 falls match, and she came back from losing the first fall in that to win the last 2 to beat Jordan Grace again. I think that's a big tell story of who they want to carry to the mantle next after Grace. So I got Masha retaining. Tasha has been a great, underrated knockout for TNA these last few years. She's been a constant there, a very big leader there. But I think Masha is going to retain. I think she's the woman, and the number one woman in TNA now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Masha Slamovich, I feel like should hold that title for quite some time. I don't see her dropping at the Tasha Steelz. Yeah, she's gonna hold it for a while, you know. And I think she is gonna be, you know, if not one of those top stars already in TNA. She has made a name for herself since she got there, and she's getting better every show. So I'm going with Masha.
And I think the big telltale story, not the fact that they just put it on her, but the fact that she isn't speaking another language now like she was. They have her speaking English, a lot more promos doing that, and changed her music. Just the presentation is different now.
Right.
Yeah, put across the board. I got Masha retaining, and I also think she's going to hold it for a good while. This match will main event, but I'm going to predict it right now. TNA World Championship, yes, Nick Nemeth versus AJ Francis.
Well, I think Nick Nemeth is going to retain, but I have to say, AJ Francis has been knocking it out in the park in TNA. He's been killing it being a heel. Of course, it sucked that he lost Rick Swann because of the whole situation with Rick Swann, but pairing him up with Casey Navarro has been great. Everything that he's done, he's all in. And just that heel, snobby, with the rap background, playing off having all that money. Everybody that he's feuded with, he's put them over, or vice versa. And I think this is just the TNA giving him a bone. TNA being like, hey, you've been doing all this stuff for us, doing a great job. This is our thank you by giving you a title shot. But of course, Nick Nemeth has been a workhorse for them. Every match is killer. He's been the main event guy, working with everybody. He's going to retain.
So I was going back and forth with this one. I was someone like AJ Francis, he put a quote out there. I don't agree with the bottom half of the quote because he said a year ago I was a joke, a punchline, and now I'm the best heel in the business. I don't think he's the best heel by any means. No. There's other people I would say to take that from him, but yeah, he was a joke a year ago. Like I remember in WWE when he attempted to jump over the top rope and got caught up, and Michael Cole just lost his mind about it, and it was a joke for the longest time. But he goes to TNA and he has completely revitalized himself. He is actually doing very well. Someone who I was not a big fan of in WWE, or even when he got to TNA, I was not a big fan of him. But this guy has really, really changed himself, and he's in the main event picture for the title against Nick Nemeth. And as much as I would like to go with him, I think Nick Nemeth, he retains it. But I think somewhere down the line is when AJ Francis finally does take it from him, because I think if anyone's going to take it off him, it is going to be AJ Francis. You want to complete this type of story from going from nothing to something, and then he finally gets it. I just don't think it's going to be just now. I think you give it a couple shows, and he's finally going to do it.
If I had to tell somebody to watch a match that he was in that shows how much he's gone, like how much he has kind of written off, that like just embarrassment, his Bound for Glory match with PCO. That match was insane, and he sold the heck out of everything that PCO did. That's right. what he has done. It's not necessarily like what he has done to other people. It's what he's done to sell everybody else to make them look good.
All right.
Yeah, and then with Nick Nemeth, I'm waiting to see what's happening with JBL.
That too,
He's been walking everywhere, clothesline from hell people, and it's always affected Nick Nemeth because he hasn't done it to him. He's doing it to everybody. You want to know what he whispered to him months ago and what that relationship is.
Yeah.
And I think it coordinates with the TNA World title. And at some point, you're going to get the story behind it. So I don't think that they're going to randomly take the title off without having that story part of it.
Right.
I hate both of them guys. Fuck both of them. But I'm actually going to pick Nick Nemeth to retain that title. Maybe he'll give him a good match. I don't know, but I just cannot see AJ Francis as TNA World Champion. Yeah. All right. I want to save this for last. We're going to get a 4-way match. The winner will be the number one contender to challenge Nick Nemeth at Genesis for the TNA World Championship? Joe Hendry, Josh Alexander, Mike Santana, or Steve Macklin?
This is the one I'm actually hyped about the most. This one. They've been killing it with these vignettes with Steve Macklin ever since he kind of got neutralized that rivalry with heel Josh Alexander. Like they had one where they were following him around at the bar. He's been like seen like Eric Young, but it's not him. It's just him illusioning Eric Young being there. Mm-hmm. It's just you get like an in-depth look of who Steve Macklin is, where he's going. They've done that switch to where now he's a baby face now, chasing the title. And then the flip side, Josh Alexander went from a baby face to heel because he feels like with how much of a workhorse he has been that everybody has jumped on the Joe Hendry bandwagon. And now Steve Macklin is signed with him instead of signing with Alexander. And then you got the underdog, the guy that is like just moving up the charts, and Mike Santana. This guy has built the shit out of himself the last year and a half since he got clean. He's kind of been a workhorse single star on the indies. He comes here, first thing, he beats Steve Macklin right away, and then beats him again. And he had the thing with the system. His match with Moose was insane. He beats Moose. And I think it's just a matter of like he's climbing up the ladder to get that world title shot, and he's beating everybody of like a big name to get there. I think Joe Hendry, of course, is the big name. We're waiting for him to win the title, but I have a feeling he's not going to win this. I have a feeling they're going to swerve us because I feel like when Joe Hendry wins, I feel like he's going to turn heel because he was going to win it. And like I said before, the JBL gets involved and clotheslines him, and that is part of the reason why he loses to Nick Nemeth. And then he's just been getting these opportunities. He had to move to the back of the line. He did get a win at the last show. He pinned, of course, Brian Myers to make Brian Myers wear the turkey outfit. So he got the pin there. I think they're doing the climb up again for him, but I think this is one of those ones where he's going to have a great showing, but not get pinned, but then not win. So I think with Josh Alexander being a free agent February 15th, he's already come out and said he's done everything that he can in this company, and he's probably going to look to go somewhere else to do something new. So I think Mike Santana pins Josh Alexander and becomes the number one contender. I think that'd be a fresh face for Nick Nemeth to go against. And Mike Santana has built himself. The fans love him. And I'm going to go with that. And I feel like maybe Alexander costs Steve Macklin from winning somehow. So I think I got Santana.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mike Santana as well. You know, it's cool to see a fresh face, you know, get a world title shot. You know, we saw Macklin, Alexander, even Joe Hendry get title shots. You know, we've seen the other two hold a title. I want to see Mike Santana get his shot, you know, because he was always for me, he was always so held back in AEW. You know, he was teaming up with like, you know, Jericho and them. And, you know, for me, he wasn't able to be himself over there. He goes to TNA, he's by himself, and he's really done well in TNA. So I'm going to go with Mike Santana as well to win this match.
You know, I'm sticking with Joe Hendry.
Of course you are.
Everybody wants him to be champion. So we're going to see what happens.
He's eventually going to. I just think this would be an odd one to have him do it. If you're not going to have him do it at Bound for Glory, you're not going to do it at like a Friday special pay-per-view. Oh well, it would be Genesis.
You want to do it at an actual pay-per-view, like a Saturday pay-per-view.
Yeah, like if you're going to do it, they might you might as well wait until like April when when their next big one is.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to throw this real quick before we get to the next topic, but I don't know if you want to believe it or not, because certain people, when they announce retirements, they fucking come back, like Goldberg, for example. But Logan Paul announces that he's officially done with wrestling after he became a father, and to prove it, he says he's not going to compete at WrestleMania this coming year. You think he's for real, or you think he's full of shit?
There's a chance that this could be half true and half false, because I do think that he's going to come back, but maybe he just had his baby, he took time off, and now he's feeling like he wants to. It's getting him to want to spend more time at home. Like you have a kid, you want to enjoy that time having a newborn and whatnot. So maybe right now he's feeling that just because of that, but maybe he changes his mind because he knows that he's had enough time there and it's time to get back into business. So I feel like maybe he'll change his mind. It's just, you never know when it's going to happen and how long and when he decides he wants to come back. And maybe he's doing this as a way to swerve people when he does come back.
Yeah, I mean, for one, I agree because he just had a baby, he's enjoying the time with it, and he just wants to be with family. But a part of me feels like he's just being a heel. A heel being a heel. He's going to come back at some point, and I think he definitely competes at WrestleMania. But like I said, he's just being a heel on social media like he always does, and it's just a swerve that he's going to pull out of nowhere, and he's going to show up one day when people least expect it. So some of it's true, but I can tell most of it is not. So I don't see a retirement in his future. I think he's a great competitor. Shocked a lot of people in this first match, and he's only gotten better for each match. So yeah, I think he's definitely coming back at some point.
I think he's full of shit. Yeah, he's eventually going to come back. But because I heard people say, "Oh, but he's training. He's about to. He's getting ready for something." Like I feel like he might come back like in a Royal Rumble match or something.
Yeah, maybe so.
Speaking of heel turns, so last Friday on SmackDown, they finally became tag team champions. DIY defeated the Motor City Machine Guns to win the WWE Tag Team Championships, and now we've been knowing about Tommaso Ciampa going heel, but now Johnny Gargano follows behind and he's heel again, and I think this may be the first time since NXT both of them are heels together. So what's your take about this? I mean, I think everyone saw it coming. Feel free, like how long you think the title reign's going to last, how long you think until they break up again. I mean, what you think? Are they going down a better path as a heel than a babyface team?
I honestly don't know, because first we didn't expect them to put the titles on the Motor City Machine Guns the way that they did that fast. And then two, they only held it for 40 days just for them to do this. So I think something had to happen where there was a plan, and maybe this was the backup plan, because it's like with all the talks of the transfer portal and everybody moving, and then the rumor that all of the bloodline, the OG bloodline, is going to be on Raw. It leaves a hole kind of in the tag division on SmackDown, because we don't know who's going to come back. Because you expect a lot of people to come back to kind of to equal the rosters out, both brands being 3 hours. And when you look at the tag teams there, you got Street Profits, they're babyface. You got Motor City, babyface. At the time, DIY was babyface. You had Legado del Fantasma there or whatnot. They were kind of like a heel, but then not upper echelon heel. And then I'm pretty sure that's all on SmackDown. And there's probably some others, but those were the Pretty Deadly. They're heel, but they're more like a goofy heels per se. So I'm like, they needed somebody to move heel. And I think the rain was on the wall once you saw Ciampa acting the way he did, that, okay, I see this is why they were doing it. I'm just shocked that they went this way, but I love the idea. I love it. You reinvigorate DIY because they're always getting title shots but losing, and then they had their title reign and kind of had them taking it from them after a month. So I hope they give them a nice long reign, at least a few months. At least have them hold it until WrestleMania, at least as a heel group. But I think they're going to be a heel group for a while, and I like the idea of it. I think they're going to get more out of that than they were going to get as a babyface.
So if you ask me how long a title reign would go for DIY, if they would have stayed face and beat Motor City Machine Guns, I would say maybe not that long. But since they won it as heels, which I didn't see it coming, I didn't see the heel turn coming as most people did. You know, I was expecting a turn from one of them, like they've been teasing the Tommaso Ciampa heel turn. I thought they were going to go the other way and maybe Gargano was going to hit him, but they went the other route and had Gargano turn on Motor City Machine Guns and turn heel along with Tommaso Ciampa, which I didn't see coming while I was watching SmackDown. But since they won it as heels, I think you give it to them for a while, you know, a few months, you know, let them hold the titles. Kind of feel like titles have been kind of, you know, playing hot potato with, you know, Bloodline holds it, Motor City Machine Guns hold it, you know, now DIY has them. I kind of feel like they need to have a set, you know, place for it, but actually be defended, not like the Judgment Day right now on Raw. You know, they're not really defending titles too much. They're just kind of going stale with it right now. You know, I think the tag division on SmackDown needs to be, you know, good with DIY as the leaders right now, as the champions. So I think you hold it for a while. And yeah, I didn't see the heel turn coming whatsoever. That one really got me. You know, it really surprised me. I thought one of them was going to turn on the other. Like, you know, Tommaso was like the obvious answer, but you know, Gargano was like that sneaky one I thought was going to happen. But seeing them both do it was a pretty cool touch.
And then I was like, I had the idea, maybe they break up, and I was like, please don't, because we need these tag teams. They break up. That's exactly what we don't need. And then when we got the news, Tangaloa is injured, so he's going to be out until mid-January. So I was like, okay, that's another tag team that's going to be out. So they have to stay together somehow. I was like, you have to have that happen. So I think it was the right move there.
Yeah, because if you do it again, if you have either Tommaso turn on Gargano or vice versa, you know, you're kind of just bringing up an old story. This has happened already. You know, we've already gotten these two. We've gotten it. It was a lot.
And they've each been heel, but not together.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Ciampa was heel when he turned on Johnny, but then Johnny was the way heel when Ciampa was babyface.
Yep.
So they've never been heel together. So it's something brand new.
Yeah.
I think it's they should hold it for a good bit. We'll see. I don't have much on it because I didn't watch SmackDown last week, so I didn't have much about it. But we'll see how far it goes. All right, then we're gonna wrap up with our final topic. I don't know how y'all hype level is about this, but we're getting the return of an instant classic. So it's been 17 years since we got the return of Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC. Remember, they once had a what was it? Like a 14-year absence. Like when they dropped it in 1992, they brought it back in 06. I remember the hype for that. And now after a 17-year hiatus, they're bringing it back. And now they're gonna, when 2025 comes, they've already guaranteed they want to do at least maybe 5 or 6, at least 6, because they're kind of going like in the old school way where they do it like not every other, maybe like every other month or once every so often. Because I know after this weekend, the next one they're gonna do one in January. At the end of January.
That's the one thing I question. It's the week before the Royal Rumble.
Well, I heard they were going to do another one they were talking about doing another one in March because they got nothing in March because WrestleMania is going to be in April. So they were guaranteeing that they were going to at least do 5 or maybe 6 Saturday Night's main events in 2025. Because if you ever look back at the history of Saturday Night's main event, some years they've done 2, some years they've done maybe 3 or 4. I think 1992 was the only year they did the most Saturday. Nope, maybe not even 1992. It might have been 1990. 1990 had the most Saturday Night's main event episodes ever. They did like 4 or 5.
It's
All
kind of
that
like
one.
the format that WCW did with Clash of Champions, where it was always every few months they would do the one on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or something weird like that.
Well, they did 5 also in 1988. Like,
Yeah.
it's great. But I'm glad they brought it back. Yes, Jesse Ventura is going to come back as the color commentator, and he's going to do it with Michael Cole. I hope they bring Obsession back as the theme song like they did back in the day. Hopefully they could close it out with Phil Collins, but just not POD, please. Like, I don't know why they had to use POD. No, I wanted to bring this up. Maybe Bakley can definitely answer this, but do you guys have any favorite matches or favorite moments or anything that involved in the history of Saturday Night's main event? I know they've only had like 30-something they've had 36 episodes in the last 40 years. Was there a match you remember watching?
I recall,
I have one.
I'm pretty sure the last match of the feud, if I recall, I could be wrong, between Jake the Snake and Macho Man happened at Saturday Night's main event.
Okay.
That big feud that they had.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what one of my favorite moments was that match, because that feud was one of those feuds that you didn't expect to be so good, and it carried over for months, and I think that's where it ended, was there.
Okay, what about you, Dylan? I mean, I know you probably barely watched it, and since they brought it back, they've only did 5 episodes when they brought it back in 06. They did 2 in 06, 2 in 07, and 1 in 2008, but
Yeah, off the top of my head, I got nothing. Watched them. The moment the stream ends, I'm gonna go find something good, but it'd be too late for me to say anything.
well, I'll go ahead and say this. I've watched it on one of his DVDs as an extra match, but one match in particular I loved so much. Hulk Hogan versus Mr. Wonderful in a steel cage match for the WWE title. It kicked off 1987, and it was a classic blue steel cage match. So, like, there's something about that match. It was so good. Like, there were times Orndorff we thought was going to win the title, and in that long 2-3 year 4-year run as champion, but Hogan escaped the cage and retained his title, and then went on to feud with Andre after that. But I didn't watch. I didn't watch my first edition of Saturday Night's main event until that second episode in 06. I remember the first one when they announced it. I couldn't watch it live. I had to go to a confirmation retreat, and I begged my mom. I said, "We had TiVo. Please, can you set this to record on NBC?" And what happened? They forgot. I was upset, but luckily it was an extra on WrestleMania 22's 3-disc DVD set, so I did get to watch it when WrestleMania 22 came out on DVD. But when they did the next one in July of 2006, they did it the week I went to SmackDown in Houston. Because they were in Dallas. That was the first one I watched live, and I loved it. Like, that was maybe my favorite episode of Saturday Night's main event ever. Even if the match card was not as good when you look back at it now, but that was the night when DX portrayed their voices over the McMahons and the Spirit Squad when they were getting ready for their handicap elimination match, and Triple H was like mocking Vince, saying, "Take off my clothes and spank my bottom till it's red," or that. Like, you have to go watch that clip on YouTube. It's the funniest shit ever.
That's what it was. Okay, so Saturday Night main event. It was January '92. Jake Roberts and Randy Savage main evented the show. Of course, Randy Savage won, and that's what set up in the next week after the match, where Miss Elizabeth came out, celebrated with Randy Savage. They go to walk back to the back, and Randy Savage had a chair, and he was going to hit Randy Savage with it, but Undertaker came out from behind and grabbed the chair, and that's what started the WrestleMania 8 rivalry between Jake the Snake and the Undertaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the one I loved main evented Saturday night, the 9th Saturday night's main event on January 3rd, 1987. Hogan
Okay.
and Orndorff in a steel cage. So, but it's like, I swear to God, you look back at the other Saturday night, like the ones they did. Well, they actually fucked all this up. Actually, you know what? They did not close out. They actually opened that year. The 9th Saturday night's main event, Hogan and Orndorff opened the show. It closed out with Blackjack Mulligan and Jimmy Jack Funk. Why? But it's okay. You think that's bad? Look, before we predict, I just want to show you the last ones they did. Now, in 06, I remember they closed out with Shane McMahon and Shawn Michaels. That street fight was actually badass, but they kind of portrayed the Montreal screw job again, because remember, Shawn was going in a feud with Vince McMahon for WrestleMania 22, and
because that was the year, because that's the year it was supposed to be Eddie and Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to like kind of pivot.
Then Vince called the bell like the Montreal screw job. Shane had him in a sharpshooter. The one in Dallas was Cena and Edge for the WWE title, and Cena didn't win it back, but he won by DQ. Okay, of all fucking arenas, oh, not this one, but then the first one they did in 07, the main event was a 6-man tag. You ready for this? Kane, Doink the Clown, and Eugene versus Kevin Thorne, Viscera, and Umaga. That main event is Saturday night's main event.
Not the fact that it was a match, but the fact that it main evented.
Jesus.
Oh,
well, wait.
God.
Then 2 months later, they did Saturday night's main event in Madison Square Garden. We thought Carlito and John Cena was going to main event. No, the main event was CM Punk and the Boogeyman versus John Morrison and Big Daddy V. They let ECW main event that.
Jesus.
And then the last Saturday night's main event they had, I remember watching it. It was Edge and Jeff Hardy in the main event, and Edge beat Jeff Hardy, and I remember I was mad. And then they only had 3 matches that night. There were time. It used to be an hour show. If you were lucky, you got 2 hours. You would get 4 or maybe 5 matches. But the last one they did was only a 1-hour show. But now they're going back to 2 hours. It's going back to NBC. Plus, you can watch it on Peacock. And they have 5.
I like the retro feel. I like the retro feel coming back of it, like and making it feel important. The 80s music, just the look. They kept the look the same.
Well, the main event font is different. The Saturday night font is the same, but like the main event font's a little different, but it's cool. Yeah. It's the red and blue and the clear. It looks 80s vibe. Plus, as I said, I hope the theme song is an emotion again, obsession, and not some bullshit like rock song or punk rock or soft rock or even a rap song. I want an emotion as the theme song. Especially if you're bringing Jesse Ventura back to color commentate with Michael Cole.
Yeah.
So we'll predict this real quick. Oh, and they're going to come back in January, but they're going to go to San Antonio. So you never know. I might actually show up there. I'm thinking about it. If the tickets are not too expensive, I might go to San Antonio to see this. I'm not guaranteeing it, but you never know. So we'll go ahead and predict this. We are going to crown a brand new champion, the United States Women's Championship on the line. The semifinals are going to happen on SmackDown tomorrow night. You got one semifinal, Bayley and Chelsea Green. The other semifinal is Michin and Tiffany Stratton. Just out of your head, tell me who wins the title and who do they beat in the finals. That's all you got. I'll let Dylan take this one first, then Bayley.
Chelsea Green is going to win the U.S. title. I've been saying this since they introduced it, and she's going to beat Michin.
Michin?
Yep.
That's my finals. I think Michin deserves it, but I think Chelsea Green's going to win it.
See, I got the same across the board. Chelsea Green wins it, and I think she beats Michin. I was going to pick Tiffany Stratton, but I'm like, no, Tiffany should just go after the women's title. She got Miss Money in the Bank, and she better not cash in on that belt either. Use it on Nia Jax down the road.
Yeah.
All right. And then we got Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship.
I mean, there's zero reason to pull the title off of Liv Morgan right now. So there's just no reason why she loses it.
I got Io Sky.
Well,
I think they made. I think they gave that chance once they started doing those promos between Io and Rhea Ripley. I feel like they've been dragging this whole thing for a while, and with this transfer portal, I feel like Judgment Day is going to go to SmackDown, because if you're going to have the Bloodline go one way, I feel like you got to have the Judgment Day go the other, especially when they did the whole Bianca in the back on Friday, and you see Dirty Dom talking to Nick Aldis in his office, or walking out of his office, which would look pretty interesting. Like he wants to move to a different one. And so I feel like you're going to get a switch where I feel like Liv's going to drop the title and go to SmackDown somehow. Because I feel like even though they've been teasing one more thing with her and Ripley, I feel like they've done too much with that, with them too.
Yeah.
They've kind of drawn it out too much, and they could have just made this whole thing with Io easier to show, like, oh, Io is just going to lose. But I feel like it was, for me, the go home show, whoever gets over on the go home show usually loses the match. And Liv got over on Io on Monday. So I'm going with Io on this one. I'm going for the upset.
Not so fast, my friend. Talking about transfer portals and still talking college slang. I got Io retaining, not Io, Liv Morgan retaining, and Raquel's going to get involved. Or Dirty Dom's going to distract the ref and have Liv find a way to keep her title one way or another, whether she uses a weapon or whatnot. All right. Now it's a triple threat match. World Heavyweight Championship. It's now Gunther versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Honestly, you can add the entire Raw roster to this, and I'm going to go with Gunther. I don't see him losing this title anytime soon. I kind of over-exaggerated with my prediction a long time ago, saying he should kind of have like a similar type to like Bruno's reign. He's not going to hold it that long, obviously. The social media would go wild if someone held a title that long. If Roman's not going to hold it that long, then Gunther surely is not going to hold it that long. But yeah, he's not going to drop it no time soon. Like I said, you can add everybody, and I'm still going Gunther.
Spoiler, the person that's going to be taking that title from him is going to be John Cena at WrestleMania.
God, I hope not.
Because John Cena is going to win that Rumble, challenge him, and then break that record with him retiring.
So you mean to tell me he's going to break 2 records before he retires? Not break 2 records. He's going to tie 1 record and break another. He's going to tie Stone Cold's record, winning 3 Royal Rumbles. And then he's going to surpass Ric Flair and win 17 world championships.
Because you're not going to make a big deal out of this retirement of one of your biggest.
I don't think he's going to win the Rumble. I think he's going to win the Chamber.
Yeah.
He says he's going to be in Toronto at the Chamber. I think that's his way of getting into a world title picture, if that's the way to go with it. He wins the Chamber.
Well, he could just show up.
Toronto must be his like city or something, because you're not hearing, oh, John Cena's last time in Madison Square Garden, or John Cena's last time in Chicago, or John Cena's last time in Los Angeles. No, they're John Cena's last time in Toronto, Canada, folks.
I thought that was just going to be a cheesy thing, because whoever wins the Rumble always shows up to Elimination Chamber just to do a segment.
Yeah.
Just look at Cody last year. He flew all the way to Australia just to have
to be on the
Grayson Waller effect segment,
and have a meme made.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think Gunther retains.
Yeah, for Cena, I don't think he wins the Rumble. I think the outrage that would come from that would be too much. I think look at that outrage when they took the title. title opportunity away from Cody. That went into a frenzy right there where they had to change it up automatically to not have Rock Roman at WrestleMania. So now I think you have Cena win the Elimination Chamber. I think you get a better response from the audience from that. And then that's his way of going to Mania.
Well, I got the
I would ask who you have winning the Royal Rumble, but I don't want to find that out yet because that would be very. No, CM Punk's not winning it. I'll tell you that.
You think he's gonna drag and fight Seth at WrestleMania?
No, they're facing each other on the Netflix debut.
Yeah, but
I have a prediction for the Rumble, but I'm gonna hold off on it.
They're gonna have one. They're gonna have more than one match.
But I'll say this. I will say I think CM Punk faces Roman at Mania.
Yeah, I think
I don't even know who Roman or even Cody's facing yet. Let's just know Dylan will not pick Austin Theory to win in 2025.
No, that was a bad prediction.
Oh my
I don't
god!
know. I was thinking at that time.
Oh jeez. But I will say this about the triple threat. It's a lot of the bases on Priest and Finn Balor right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, Finn Balor's not going to win because he's going to drop the tag titles on Raw. They're dropping those titles. And if they don't, I'm going to start like a mutiny or something because you got to put it on the War Raiders. And I think it builds that uncertainty because then it'll be another way because you can have him get pinned and then Priest can once again be like, hey, you still have not beat me clean. Because WWE would do that stuff, and I think it saves that one-on-one again for whatever for maybe the Netflix Raw debut. But I got Gunther pinning Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn's taking the pin. I got Gunther Gunther pins Finn Balor. If that's one of our answers for Google Sheets is who takes the pin in that title match, I'm gonna say Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre.
I'm gonna go with Drew. Drew came back. He gave that crazy Claymore to Sammy. I love Sammy, but you gotta go with Drew. After his long trilogy with Punk, I think you have to give him something better, and I think you have to give him a win on this show. Like I said, I love Sammy. But this one's for Drew.
Yeah, I got Drew. You don't have Drew coming back like a week ago, have him hit him, and then not really do anything with Drew. Right. You could do so much with Sammy right now where he doesn't have to win. There's a lot of storylines within it. I already know who he's going to face at Mania. I think they kind of hinted that on SmackDown with a certain promo, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's easy to just have Drew win it and then do something with Drew. Because if you have him lose, what are you gonna do? Like you build him up to strong to come back just to lose? Where away? No, he's winning.
Yeah, Drew's winning. And then finally, undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, plus what was in that little case? People think for one night only that he's going to come out with the Wing Eagle belt. I've even heard some people say for one night only, it was supposed to be one of Dusty Rhodes' iconic robes that he maybe wore on one of the Saturday Night's main events he participated in. Everyone's thinking it's the Wing Eagle belt. So who's walking out as champion and what's in the briefcase?
So let me start off by saying that I'm going to credit my brother for this because if I don't, then he's going to come after me for not saying anything about him. They said one night only. I think it's the Wing Eagle. I think it'd be a cool touch, but it's one night only because Kevin Owens is walking out as the champion. I think he goes in there, and it's not going to be a clean victory by any means. Let me get it out the way right now. But I think it's going to be a dirty win because I think Randy Orton comes back and he screws over Cody Rhodes. I think because Randy's in this at some point, Randy Orton was always in this little mix with Cody and Kevin. I think Randy comes back and he turns and he RKOs Cody Rhodes, and that's how Kevin wins the title. I don't think it's going to be a clean victory by any means, but like I said, this could all mean nothing. Cody could win clean against Kevin and he moves over to Raw. I think Gunther's going to SmackDown. He met with Nick Aldis already, and we saw the same thing with Cody meeting with Adam Pearce on Raw. So I think you're going to Netflix. You want Cody Rhodes over there. I think they obviously get Roman, the Bloodline, everyone over there to Raw. We're going to see a lot of people changing brands, but I honestly think that Cody is still going to walk into WrestleMania as a champion. I don't think they're going to give Kevin a long run with it, but I think it's just to shock everybody for this show. So I think Randy turns, 'cause for me, Randy is far into his career, but I think he still has so much left in the tank. He has proved that. But I think he comes back and he turns. And that's how Cody loses it. So they're saying it one night only. I think people are not digging too far into this to say one night only. And I think the one night only means that he's only going to have the title just for that night before Kevin takes it. So Kevin Owens is walking out as the undisputed champion. I'm praying I can go back and watch this and prove everybody wrong, but I know damn well it's not going to happen and Cody's going to win, but I don't care. I'm going with Kevin Owens.
I was going to say, they've been giving way too many clues that are going Kevin Owens' way for him.
That's what scares me.
Because they've been putting all those interviews on social media of him. Yeah. He just put out the one where he said that he kind of didn't take full advantage of the time that he had when he won it. Like he was too much not in the moment. He was too busy worrying about what to do here, what to do there.
Yeah.
He's like, he didn't enjoy the moment after day one of winning it.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're trying too hard to make Kevin Owens look good in that. And then you got the one night only thing.
Yeah.
And when I could see Randy come back, because I do think it's going to wind up being Randy and Cody if The Rock doesn't come back. Because I feel like there's a 1A and a 1B. If The Rock comes back, it's him and The Rock, and Cody has to have the title for that. I think that's the big thing with that. But if he doesn't, then I think it's Randy and Cody, because you know what could happen? Randy could win that, and I believe he would. I think, isn't he? And then I could see a scenario where both Randy and Cena win at Mania and both have the titles, and they both break the record at the same time. I could see it, one being a heel and one being a babyface, because they're always intertwined together, those two. So I think Cody wins it. Because I think you gotta make Kevin Owens go more into a tailspin. Yeah. And with his mind. I think he's going to go into what Sami Zayn was a couple years ago with the conspiracies and things going against him. Because we already got a heel Sami versus a babyface Kevin. And I feel like now we're going to get the opposite. We're going to get a babyface Sami and a heel Kevin Owens like in NXT.
Yeah.
I still think Cody retains because like whoever he fights at WrestleMania, he's going to defend that title. If he fights The Rock, if he fights Randy Orton, even if he fights fucking Roman again, we get a third straight year that Cody's going into WrestleMania as champion. Now, if Orton does come back and turn heel, they're going to fight for the championship, maybe like at a Royal Rumble, or even Elimination Chamber. Like before Mania, him and Orton will possibly have a match. And it's going to be either at the Rumble or Elimination Chamber. I'm calling it now. I was hoping to see Cena versus Cody, but we might get Cena versus Gunther instead. I don't know. Cena's fighting one of the champions at WrestleMania. If you don't fight Gunther, he's fighting Cody Rhodes. But
I thought maybe there was a chance that Cody would go back to Raw because, like you said, Netflix, big thing. But I'm like, there's no way that they're going to send Roman, the Bloodline, and Cody to Raw.
If you're going to send Cody,
when Raw already has CM Punk on that brand and Seth Rollins, there's no way they're going to have all of them on one brand and not have SmackDown whole. I think USA is like, okay, you can have Roman, but we're keeping Cody.
By the way,
one of the two.
if you're gonna move the world champion to SmackDown, you might as well bring the women's world title and the world tag team titles to SmackDown. You don't separate. Keep the WWE titles together and the world titles together.
Mm-hmm.
Don't split that. Now the US, same thing with the IC and the US titles. If the IC champ goes to SmackDown, bring the women's IC belt with it. Bring the US women's title with the US champion to the other show. Instead of this crisscross shit and we get fucking mixed up with what they need to kind of all keep it together. And if they ever switch belts, just draft the other champion or do a swap out or a shake up. Just don't do that swap championship like 2 champions swap belts and then they add another title reign to their resume. Like, I fucking hated that shit.
Yeah.
But I digress. But, oh no. So I guess y'all hype level for Saturday night's main event's pretty high, or y'all just like, let's see what happens and get this over with type?
I think they've done a good job of hyping it up, making it sound good. Yeah, it's the first one back, just nostalgic. I'm hyped for it.
Same here. The hype level for me is up there, but I feel like no matter how hyped people are, there's going to be some people that are happy, some that aren't. So obviously WWE's not going to please everybody if it comes to the result, to the set they're going to have, to whatever they do to make it as retro as it always looked. I feel like someone is just not going to be pleased.
I don't think it's going to be a special set. I think they're going to have the same set they had for Raw and SmackDown. It's going to be that set. I just don't know. I don't even think they might do LED turnbuckles. I heard they might do black turnbuckle posters for this. I don't know. But 2 things about this, since I'm so excited they brought it back. And if they just keep doing it once every quarter of the year, or a month or whatever, or like after January, the next one be in March or whatever, we'll still do prediction shows for them because they're going to come very rare. And for a bonus, since I'm not going to say new year, new me type bullshit, but this gave me an idea. I'm going to come up with a new mini show that's only going to be 30-something episodes, but I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but I'm going to do a nostalgia where I'm going to look back on each episode of Saturday Night's Main Event timeline-wise, chronological order. It might be once a week or bi-weekly. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but me and Justin are going to do it together. We were talking about it. We're going to call it Saturday Night's Main Review.
Nice.
A collab of the Oily Podcast and Circle of Debate, folks.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, we're gonna do the first. We're gonna look back at the very first episode sometime next week, and then we might wait till after Christmas to drop episode 2. Like, I don't know. We're gonna talk about it. I just came up with this idea like 4 hours ago.
Oh shit!
I'm so happy about it. I gotta get the contracts ready, paperwork in order to have Justin come once a week or once every other week, however we decide to do it. Like, I just thought about it. I hope you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And it's only audio episodes, by the way, because I'm not doing Ready to Rumble anymore. Might not do Back to the Mania anymore. I wanted to get some type of nostalgia going.
Hey, the more content, the better, man. It doesn't matter. Don't bother me none.
Now, I did get requested to do a Royal Rumble. I must still do it, but I'm not gonna do a series of Ready to Rumble. I'm just gonna call it. Oh, welcome to a special edition of Ready to Rumble. We're gonna talk Royal Rumble 2019.
Yeah, right.
With me, and I forgot her fucking name, but
yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. By the way, I got an audio episode dropping this weekend. Me and Justin did one together. Probably drop it, if not tomorrow, we'll drop it Saturday. And then I'm gonna have another one for next Saturday, the 21st. I'm gonna drop that one too. And then that's the last nostalgia I'm gonna do for 2024. Pay-per-view wise.
Right.
Till we get to 2025.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. Anything else y'all want to add before we close out?
I got nothing.
Well, let them know where they can find you on social media before we wrap this up.
Go ahead, Bakley.
You can find me on X at CageIQ. Of course, you can find me every Tuesday on Circle of Debates NXT Watch Along. In about a week or so, me and Ivan are going to be doing our Wrestle Kingdom predictions. And then, of course, for Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, I'm going to be hosting the watch alongs. Of course, I'm going to need a couple energy drinks to last overnight, both nights. Thankfully, it's a Saturday and a Sunday. So,
Oh, sweet.
which is perfect. So I don't have to worry about taking the kids to school or anything of that nature. So it's the best case scenario. So keep a lookout for those on Circle Debate.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter, Dylan Aber _. I'm also a part of the Game Breaker Sports Network. You can catch my Premier League picks every week, along with Bakley and another friend of ours. Game Breaker Sports Podcast coming to the Game Breaker YouTube on Tuesday, January the 7th. Looking forward to that. Marcus, Tim, and Streets. That'll be a fun one to expand a little bit, to talk something other than wrestling. You know, we're all big sports fanatics. Of course, we'll bring on other people as we go. You know, I even talked to Tim about, you know, doing, if there's like a big soccer game or something, doing like a watch along for, you know, obviously the two of y'all I would like to inquire about coming on to do something. You know, if there's a big game coming up sooner or later after the debut, I would like to do something and all that. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming. And yeah, check out the Premier League picks if you're into that. Haven't been doing very well with them, but it's all for the fun of it. There's no prize at the end. It's just for fun. And yeah, we're not doing so hot at all.
Well, it depends if one of my 5 international clubs are playing, or I'll say 4 because I know no one gives a shit about the Scottish Premiership. So you can take Celtic, unless if it's Old Firm, like they're playing Rangers for the second meeting this weekend, and then they're going to play again.
We just prayed Rangers today.
Yeah, in Europa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's fucking going on, but I got an alert Manchester United won a match, and I'm like, well, it's not Champions League. I don't even know what the fuck.
No, Europa.
Europa. Is that like a special jump rope? Europa.
Oh,
look, everybody else. Well, the only one that didn't fucking win the other day in Champions League was fuck. Hold on, I'm pulling it back up. Maybe it was Celtic. They were the only one.
Celtic didn't score at all. And Celtic, I fucking bet on them to win.
Celtic fucking tied. Everybody else fucking won for me. Bayern won, PSG won, and Barcelona won. So I'm fucking happy. You can find podcasts on Twitter at World Elite Pod. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You know the rest. Oh fuck, that was one more thing I wanted to bring up. Fuck, I had a brain fart. I can't remember. Shoot. Oh, okay. I remember. Okay, so whatever we talk about next week, we will have one more prediction for 2024. We're predicting Final Battle. I have to get your thoughts on Jericho versus Matt Cardona. I'm sorry. I'm only predicting that pay-per-view because of that match.
Jeez, can we just predict a match instead of the whole card? That's
maybe we probably can. Maybe we can.
Yeah, because I don't watch that. Like I don't watch. I don't Ring of Honor or anything like that.
Now, when we start the year 2025, our first prediction will be NXT New Year's Evil.
Okay.
Which, by the way, quick. What was your take on Deadline? Did you guys like it? Hated the fact? I'm happy Obafemi got it, but Eddie Thorpe was kind of sneaky saying, "Oh, I got an easy way to get a title shot. I faked an injury, and I don't even know if he's getting his shot before New Year's Eve or after. But if he gets it after,
it's Tuesday.
He ain't gonna. Oh well, he's gonna lose either way. And
I think he's gonna win.
I wanted Vakir to win, but I'm happy with Julia getting a rematch with Roxanne Perez, and then all the champions retained, and I called the matches in order, so I get a special star for that. Now, Dylan, I know you haven't watched Deadline, but what's your take on Obafemi challenging Trick at New Year's Evil? You think he can become champion? A pre-prediction, and we're getting the rematch with Julia and Roxanne like we did on the premiere of the CW.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch the show yet. You know, I'm pretty caught up with stuff, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. But I think it's cool they went with Obafemi. I think he does win the title, and I think you finally have to put it on Julia. She lost on the CW premiere. I think you finally do it this time. I mean, if she loses it again, then shit, what are you doing with her?
Oh yeah, she's gonna win the title, and then she's gonna start a long feud with Stephanie Vakir to go to Stand and Deliver, and that's gonna feed families.
Yeah, I got Drea winning. I still don't know why they didn't just put it on her on the debut in CW. They should have. It made no sense to have her lose just to go do this. But I love the fact that they had Stephanie Vakir. She's the only person in both matches not to take a pin in either deadline match. She didn't take any pin. She looked very good, and she was this close to tying, like 2 seconds away. So they kept that nice rivalry going. So I have Drea winning it, but I still think that there's this little chance that I think that Eddie Thorpe wins next week, and you get a triple threat match, And
Eddie Thorpe only holds it 2 weeks before he loses it to Obafemi.
I think he could win, and then you carry it out to Stand Deliver.
Oh, I cannot. No, I'm still picking.
But I think either way, I think Obafemi's going to win the belt. But I'm just thinking next level. I'm just going out into the deep rabbit holes of the interweb.
Well, one thing I've learned: never pick against Lola Vice in an NXT Underground match. And the best moment of the whole show, the show was kick ass. The best moment of the whole show was when Ethan got locked in the penalty box with Obafemi, and he beat the shit out of him in the penalty box.
Yeah,
it was funny, like a rag doll. Well, this was fun, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Of course, Bakley filling in for Jordan. Jordan should be back next week. We got 2 more episodes before 2024 ends. 1 more regular episode, and then we close out the last full week with the year-end awards once Dylan gets the awards type. Oh, and we're also going to compare. I'm comparing what I picked mid-year with year-end to see if something changes. But because that's going to be fun to compare. But thank y'all for tuning in. I think we're still getting cold weather this weekend. If you live more up north, it's going to be cold outside. Y'all might get snowed in, whatever. Stay warm. Don't do nothing stupid. Enjoy Saturday night's main event, Final Resolution. Enjoy whatever college football they got this weekend. There's not a lot. Enjoy your NFL football. Enjoy life. Enjoy the holidays. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Crawling again, crushing my brain with the candlelight. Losing my breath, losing myself, dreams are out of sight.